What is Postgres and why should I use it? To answer that question, we need to jump back a second and have a look at the past to understand why Postgres was created in the first place. Back in the 80s, Postgres was originally started as a project at Berkeley University by Michael Stonebreaker. The idea behind it was to build upon traditional database foundations by supporting complex data types, extensibility, and advanced querying capabilities. Now, fun fact, Postgres didn't start its life as an open source database tool. In fact, it wasn't open sourced until 1996, where it became Postgres SQL. Jumping into the present day, Postgres is an open source database system. Some describe it as the Linux of databases because it is your go-to choice for an open source database. But the thing that really makes Postgres stand out is it has tons of plugins and extensions to allow you to make it work for your scenario. Whether that's doing geospatial data, full text search, or JSON storage, Postgres can do it all, and the library of extensions and plugins is only growing further. This is why it's the go-to choice for companies like Airbnb, Uber, and more because of how flexible it is. Now, one of the reasons it's so popular is it's really easy to run. Let me show you how you can get a Postgres database set up and running using Docker. Here I've got a simple Docker Compose here that's going to use the pre-built Postgres image that you can find on Docker Hub. All I've done here is specify my Postgres username and password and the name of the database inside of the container. By default, Postgres runs on port 5432, but by simply just running Docker Compose up, I can now start a Postgres database that I can now connect to with any tool I like. And in fact, we can use pgadmin, which is a tool for being able to look inside of your database to see that our Postgres demo is ready, and we can see that it's currently empty with no tables. But let's go add some data to it to show just how easy it is to get started with Postgres. Now I'm going to use Kestra to be able to communicate with my Postgres database and automate the process of being able to write data in without having to faff with doing manual processes. Now, as you can see here, Kestra's got support for a number of different tasks for Postgres, such as being able to run batch queries, copy data in and out, as well as run multiple queries. Now here's an example where I'm going to load some data into a database, but in order to load it into the Postgres database, I first need to put it into a suitable format. What we're going to do here is simply download some data in a CSV file format. We're then going to take that data and then pass it to our Python script here as an output. And as you can see here, we'll then be able to access it as orders.csv inside of our Python code. And then in our Python code, we're going to drop any PII, or in this case, customer email and customer name, from that data so that when we put it into the database, we can be sure that there is no sensitive data. I can then run a Postgres query task here to create a table inside of our database so that I can then load in the data. And then I can use that copy in task to be able to take the CSV file produced from the Python code and to be able to put it directly into the database. There's a lot of different manual steps here, but Kestra makes it easy by being able to chain them all together into one repeatable workflow. Now let's have a look at this in action by pressing execute and seeing the data end up inside of pgadmin. So now inside of pgadmin, I can now refresh the table and see that we have an orders table. And now I can press view all rows. And now if I just slide this across, we can see that all of that data has been added. But the key thing is that there is no customer email or customer name columns. We have successfully dropped those from using the Python script. We can also see inside of Kestra here, when we download that data, it comes in this very raw format with all of the customer information. We can see that the output file generated from the Python code does not contain that, and then we can see that it was able to add that data directly into the database using the Postgres tasks. As you can see, Postgres is both a powerful but also flexible database system that is easy to use on multiple different platforms. If you're interested in giving Postgres a go, you can use the Kestra Postgres plugin to try it out. Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you're curious to learn more about how to use Postgres, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the Kestra YouTube channel so that we can make more of these in the future. If there's any particular part of Postgres you'd like to look at, let us know in the comments below.